Hey, everybody. Look, first and foremost, let me thank all of you for attending yesterday's stream. Well, by the time you're seeing it, yeah, it'll be the next day. That stream was nuts. You guys, it was one of my biggest streams in terms of concurrent viewership that I've ever had. It was fun. You guys seem to really like the streams where I debate someone. It was very fun. You guys were killing it. Super chats all over the place. So thank you for that. I just had to get that out the way. Big shout out to John F. Trent over at Bounty in the Comics. A lot of this stuff, he and even Bounty in the Comics, a lot of stuff that I talk about that when it comes to like the news portion of the comic book industry, I miss a lot because I don't go out of my way to try to find it, but I get alerted. And so big shout out to Bounty in the Comics. So today we're going to discuss this, okay? Now let me preface it by saying this. I've done numerous videos, countless videos, talking about the political monopoly is what I would call it. Political monopoly when it comes to mainstream comics. For the most part, the writers, and I have no reason to believe anything other than really, I have no reason not to believe that the people that call the shots over there, so not just the writers, they also have the same view. And it's generally Orange Man bad, or similar view, political. Orange Man bad, and they are generally mainstream Democrats. It's the same thing. Now, the reason why I think that's an issue because the comic books suffer because of that. And this is what I've talked about with the whole political element. I've never been one, and I've never said that politics shouldn't be in comics. I've never stated that. I think there's a way that you can implement political ideas without being on the nose. But it would go over a lot better if there was some sort of political, dare I say, diversity of thought when it comes to the writers, instead of it being the same thing over and over and over. This is why the narratives get so predictable. Dan Slott, and I can, hold on, let me do this right quick. I meant to have this pulled up as well. The reason why I went into this and wanted to find out about this, and it was because of this. Hold on, let me. Like, I was blocked. That Star Wars girl, she had posted like, what I'm blocked. So I just clicked on the name just to see. And yes, I was blocked by Dan Slott, who again, writer for. Did I even say that he's a writer for Marvel Comics? And I was like, huh? I've never had any sort of dialogue with this guy. I've never conversed with him. I've never had any conversation with this man. Yet I'm blocked. So what happened is he probably did some sort of some blockchain or some deal like that where he just blocked everybody that followed somebody or everybody that is followed, by some certain person or certain types of people. I don't know. He blocked a bunch of people that even people like myself I've never conversed, I've never mentioned Dan Slott to my knowledge on Twitter. But here we are. I'm blocked. Now going back to here, what happened was out of this, it seems that he got some pushback for putting out his political views out there. And again, it's the same old political view, same old buzz terms. I guess this is in reaction to the coronavirus. This administration is not on top of this emergency. They're ignoring or contradicting their own experts. People are dying, and he's golfing at his resort again and profiting off of it. I'm not saying F you for voting for him. I'm saying F you if you vote for him again. So same old. And it's not, if you're like, well, maybe he's just saying he doesn't like Trump. Like, you don't like Trump. And that's true. I don't. But when you dig in deeper, I donated to, this was just 4 days ago, I donated to Elizabeth Warren. I would have voted for Warren. But here's the thing. Trump's out. Trump puts children in cages. Just such a buzz deal, right? It's the fact that they make this unique to him is so weird to me. Just and ignore the initial or the previous administration. But anyway, puts his own ego before being truthful about the coronavirus vaccine. Ignores climate crisis. Self deals with our money. That's what the government does in general, by the way. And is shredding our Constitution. Oh, now they care about the Constitution. Interesting. I'll vote blue no matter who. So he's a Democrat, right? And most of them are. Most of them are mainstream Democrats that write for Marvel Comics. It's just a political monopoly, okay? He's a political monopoly. It's a political monopoly. He's not. And the quality, unfortunately, suffers because of that. But all this does is just legitimizes that when I say that. Like, I'm not talking out of my behind, y'all. When I talk about how these guys, it's just like one line of thinking there. And this is why like the current comics, you have to swim through them, definitely when it comes to Marvel, to find like good books. Because everybody definitely posts Donald Trump. Donald Trump has made these guys crazy. That's another video I talked about. Like, you want to blame, there's one thing that you maybe can blame Trump on. Not necessarily directly, but indirectly, he's influenced the comic book culture because now writers feel like they have to put it on their sleeves that, they are against sort of, I guess, Trump. In a sense that it's like this whole kids in cages. It's funny we talk about this over on the DC side as well, because if you read like the current run of Lois Lane, which basically depicts, it's just MSNBC in a comic book form. So bad. But Marvel, look, they have writers that they even pick up. Ta-Nehisi Coates, I have no idea how to say his name. Current writer for Black Panther he literally has won an award for social justice, like the literal term. Like, he's an advocate of social justice, and he's won like the Harriet Beecher Stowe Award for social justice. Never has he had any previous indication that he was a comic book fan. There's no evidence of that. Now that I know, we looked it up on stream. Now that's not to say that he's never read a comic book. I don't know. I'm just going by what I've seen. There's no proof that he was ever into that stuff. But somehow he ends up writing Black Panther and Captain America, for that matter. It's a political monopoly, bros, when it comes to these mainstream comics. They generally have the same views. They do. They generally have the same views. Same political views. And it's not unique to comic books. We talk about this was music. It's the same thing in certain like subcultures of music. Talk about how Backwards, my band, we exist in the metalcore and hardcore, and it's political monopoly there as well. It's just what it is. Certain industries have political monopolies, and the political monopoly wouldn't matter if the content wasn't suffering. But the fact that the content's suffering, it seems like these are just mainstream. These mainstream comics are just mainstream leftism in comic book form, and in a lot of cases. And it's so on the nose. It's not underlying the plot like what Stan Lee would say he would do. It's just right on the head, right on the nose. Okay. The content suffers. The quality of the book suffers because of this. That's all I'm saying. But the reason why I want to do this video, because this not only continues to validate, I'm going to continue to do videos like this when I see this, because it continues to validate what it is that I'm saying about this type of stuff. It's just what it is. And I say that, and I'm telling you this because I knew this was predictable. I knew he was a Democrat. These guys aren't saying screw Trump. Like me, I do a video and say I'm not a fan of Trump. And but it's authentic. And I'm not like a mainstream leftist, right? It's one thing like when their guys in office, generally I'm going to be in opposition to him as well because I'm coming from a stance of principle. I'm not coming from a stance of just mainstream leftism and anything not mainstream leftism such as conservatism. I find as the enemy, right? That's all it is. It's just all it is in their case, right? So that's what it is. So mainstream comics is a political monopoly, and I will call you a liar if you claim that that's not the case. But this is the issue with it. Now a lot of these guys that like the blue check marks, ironically enough, that don't even read comics, not just the blue check marks. A lot of these like the blue haired weirdos, like the Renfamises of the world. They'll praise this sort of stuff and even dumb it down, right? As if it doesn't exist, like I'm talking out of my behind. Always being over dramatic. Just saying SJW just to be saying it. Like, bro, the proof is in the pudding. They ain't no political, these guys act like they're for diversity. But it's only in, and it's not even, it's only a skin tone. It's in skin tone and sexuality and gender if you have the same political views. Like I talk about this with myself. If I was, and I'm going to end the video on this, think about this. If I was, I'm a black guy. I have very deep knowledge of comic books. I have also appeal. You think I'd be a hotbed for guys like Marvel? Or like, not, that's not really a good description. It's more so like you would think that Marvel would be just is attracted to me, trying to get me to do stuff for them. You know, they have their podcast, they have all these different shows and stuff like that. They will be bending over backwards to try to get me over there. And it's not like they don't know I exist. They absolutely know I exist. Talked about this. Some of the prints that you guys see me get, and I'm not going to point out which ones, but some of the prints you see me get come from writers, come from artists of current Marvel and DC books. It's just that they have to be in like hiding, right? They can't put their views personally out there because they will be ostracized. But you think that they would be all over me. Why aren't they? Well, I don't hold the same political views as them. They know I exist. I just don't hold the same political views as them. I don't hold the same even social views as them. That's why. So they can praise diversity all they want, but it has nothing to do with thought or ideas or anything like that. It's only in like, they just want different shades of the same thing. Hey, man, I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. Straight up.